church bells. Oops. In the village of Lyminge, or Lyminge, as I've been known to jokingly pronounce it. This is my mum's back garden. It's longish, long and narrow, as is my own back garden, but not as long as this. Here we are. I've come right to the back. I'll tell you now why I've come right to the back. Because I would not feel free to speak anywhere near my son's room. And my son resides with his grandmother at this house, and his room is at the back. And I had to put a considerable distance. And at the same time, I can show you some delightful scenery, which makes a change after staring at towels on a radiator or duvet cover or something equally fascinating. There, I've now rewarded you, gentle viewer. You really are a figment of my imagination, gentle viewer. I don't know if anyone will ever be a devoted listener to my vlogs. I'm hardly Daniel Lord of Harrietsham hiding in his room. He did inspire a lot of devotion, and I enjoyed his stuff. I found it quite groundbreaking and genuinely artistic and original, and I liked his whole modus operandi and his, you know, the way he, I got a lot from it. Got a lot from that, from watching him. And so I would definitely give him a shout out, which I'm doing. And there is no greater form of flattery than imitation. And I suppose you could say perhaps I'm creating my own little arcs as we speak, because people used to talk about his followers, or rather not followers, his listeners, I don't know, viewers. Let's go with viewers, because followers is too loaded. Listeners, well, he did a lot of visual stuff, you know, it wasn't all about listening to the sound of his voice. So let's go with viewers, because it's neutral, right? His viewers used to talk about him having arcs, you know, like as in an anime. Now, I'm not a great a watcher of anime. I've watched very little anime, and the one that I did watch was incredible, but it didn't make me want to go back and watch a whole lot of other stuff. Welcome to the NHK, that's the one that I watched from start to finish. After that, I thought, I know enough now about anime. I know anime through talking to younger people. I don't think it's been invented for people my age, so I watched Welcome to the NHK. I thought, I think I've, you know, I'll quit while I'm ahead, and that's what I did. So, yeah, anime is not really something that typically 60-year-olds take up, and I think there is a reason for that. I'm sure that it will become clear in time what that might be. Anime is, you know, to some degree still a mystery to me, and I think that young people do need things in their lives that are mysterious to the older generation, and maybe, you know, even if they react, you know, even if the older generation appear quite hostile, you don't care when you're young, you know, that's all part of being young. You know, the older generation might poo-poo what you're looking at. That's happened since time immemorial. I don't know if there was ever a time when truly teens were just mini adults. I've been told that it was like that, but I don't know if I believe it or not. History's a weird thing. I don't even know if I believe in history. That is how skeptical I suppose I've become. But anyway, I went into this tangent via Daniel Lord. It's his fault. Getting back to where I was. Here we are in Lyminge. Why am I here and not at the pink Airbnb? I have left the pink Airbnb. I couldn't take it anymore. I had felt like I was captive in a doll's house. It was very small. Your house was very small with wood chip on the wall. When I came round to call, you didn't notice me at all. I felt a little bit like that. It's the song by Pulp. Anyway, she at first seemed quite friendly, quite open, and like I said in the vlog before the last one, I think it was it was the last one. She said she oh god, I'm getting myself all confused. I don't want to have to start editing these vlogs. I want to do it in one take. I know that I said that at first she seemed very open. At first she seemed like a fangirl, and then I started to perceive that that might just be a defense, and that actually she wasn't as open as she first appeared, and that she was actually quite guarded in her way. I mean, I could have put up with a doll-sized house if it hadn't been for that sense that I was not 100% welcome, and there was a little mistrust, if you like, or suspicion, or there was just some issues. I know without a shadow of a doubt the woman had issues, and she had a daughter, she had a young daughter, and the daughter was approaching the danger years of the teens. I mean, she was only like 10. She was about to apply to secondary school and all that. I just didn't feel right there, and I thought, well, even though I booked for 2 more nights, and even though I'm not going to get the money back, I don't think I can do this for another 2 nights. I'm just not feeling comfortable in any way. So I left. I've done 8 minutes, right? I can carry on a bit longer. So I went down to Sandgate with my stuff, and it was heavy, 2 heavy bags, because I've accumulated bits and bobs, and forget about getting a bus that early on a Sunday morning in Sandgate, near Folkestone in Kent. It just doesn't happen. Buses do not occur. And even getting a cab was a major problem. I mean, at first they suggested trying another company, but the other company didn't even pick up. So I went back to the first company, and she said 20 minutes. Well, 50 minutes to an hour later, finally the cab rolled up, and it was a Nepali gentleman. And there's a lot of Gurkhas in this area. There's a big community of Gurkhas who are like Nepalese British Army, if that makes sense. Yeah. I quite often get Nepalese takeaways, so I'm a big fan of the Nepalese in this area. I mean, they do much, on the whole, much better food than the indigenous Indians or Bangladeshi restaurants, you know. But this guy said he'd been in this country for 31 years, but he still had a really strong accent. I asked him if, you know, about what Gurkhas do after they retire from the army, and he said they often do become drivers, either taxis or buses. I tend to have these kind of conversations with people quite a lot in taxis and, you know, just in, I don't know, business owners or shopkeepers or anyone who's available for me to chat to and find out stuff about. Then I will always go for it, you know. And one of my favourite things to talk about is work, is actually work, and the kind of work that they do, whether it suits them, what they did before they found the work that they do now, why they move from one job to another. It's a subject of perennial interest to me, which may seem surprising given that I myself do not work and am on benefits. I get disability benefits. Okay, I'm going to draw this one to a close. I don't know what I've captured here. I've been mainly focused on what I'm saying. So the main news is left the pink Airbnb and very relieved that my mum is not into pink.